would go as far to say, first of all, I love when my husband speaks. I just get all excited just watching him talk. I like
Very
him. But, you know that it's not a fairy tale. We go into these marriages like a woman. You are waiting for your husband to pop up at that door, pop up at your job, impress you in front of all your friends. You expecting him to say all the right thing. You expecting him to think all your cooking is good. You want him to like everything about you. You want him to tell you pretty when you ugly. You know what I'm saying? When you either acting a fool or you look a mess. You know, you want him to know some little something that you did on the sideline, and you expecting him to notice, and you mad that he didn't notice your new nail color. It's like we sometimes we have unrealistic expectations of our men. Also, we're expecting them to be a king, but we treat them like they're a peasant. You know what I mean? It's like I was definitely expecting you need to rise up, you need to be a man, you need to, but I definitely wouldn't get out. Oh man, I spent so much time emasculating my husband, but then I was telling him I wanted him to be something, but I always told him what he was not. I never told him what he could be, or I spent more time criticizing my husband than I did praising him. And my criticism was so great that it was almost like that my praise didn't matter. It made him smile, but he was like, if there's anything wrong, she's going to be the first one to say it. You know what I mean? And so we as women have to understand God created wives to be a husband's helpmeet. You do not help him by discouraging him. You do not help him by showing him all his flaws. You do not help him by always trying to drive from the passenger seat. You do not help him by always recognizing every mistake that he ever made, and then you want to give him direction on how to be a man when you've never done it successfully. Wow. You know what I mean? That's what we do all the time, and we're wrong for that. Like, follow him, encourage him. You married him because you wanted a man. Let him be the man. And when he gets it wrong, the Bible says, let God be the head of the church and let every man be a head of his wife. God didn't leave you in charge. I'm sorry.
And I will tell you that once you do that to your man, my wife, with her encouragement, made me want to build her a house. I don't know nothing about it. It literally made me feel like I could do anything. That's what we created for somebody to praise us.
But you hit on the point. You were able to do that once you came into your own maturation. You said you received your confidence. I think there's men out there who are not confident yet, so they may not receive that.
And
so
you can only do that through God.
But
He's the only one that can make you confident.
Yeah. I have to tell you this: how you treat him, how one treats their companion is not predicated on what's being reciprocated.
Right.
God has given us direction and instruction on how we are supposed to be with our companions, how we're supposed to be with our spouses. And that's not, I don't do what the Lord tells me to do to and for my husband based on what my husband does. Like, God's not, when I get up there, God ain't gonna be like, oh, okay, you was unlovely to him because he was unlovely. Okay, you get a pass. Like, you was a jerk because he was a jerk first. God's not going to say that. Yeah. He has said you honor your husband, you reverence your husband, you respect your husband. That does not mean you are supposed to let him step all over you. You're supposed to take responsibility for everything that he did, and you're supposed to smile while he's acting a fool. That's not it. But we're supposed to do what we do in love. We're supposed to give them compassion, consideration, patience. You know what I mean? We're supposed to, again, when you're doing what you're doing out of love, a lot of times it'll have a much different impact. I did much of what I did with no spirit of love, spirit of correction, the spirit of I'm better than you, I know more than you, I'm your equal, I don't really need you no way, I don't really want to love you all the way fully because you might take advantage of me. You think they can't feel that? I don't care if your words never say that. A man can feel that. And many of us women, we do that. And it's not helping. It's creating distance. And then when there's distance in our relationship, we blame everybody and take no responsibility ourselves. And so I would say, love your husband. Love your husband like you would love your son. Love your husband like you love your busted brother. Or your uncle. That's my favorite uncle. He been in and out of jail. He done did everything wrong, but you just love him. Give your husband some of that compassion, some of that understanding. Don't allow him to do you dirty, but give him some of that love and compassion and support and encouragement.
I love what you're saying, and it